Well, President Trump says he is, quote, satisfied with the investigation into his assassination attempt. Listen.
So they briefed me numerous times, the FBI, the Secret Service, sort of everybody. DOJ, Pamela's doing I think she's doing a fantastic job. But they briefed me, and I'm satisfied with it. I'm satisfied with it. They should have had somebody in the building. That was a mistake. They should have had communications with the local police. But I was satisfied in terms of the bigger plot, the larger plot.
Former FBI agent Nicole Parker joins me now. Nicole, far be it from me to disagree with the president. I don't necessarily, but I do have a lot of questions. And one is more answers about the shooter. Who was he? What were his connection? All those encrypted emails that he had. Is that the sort of stuff that bothers you as well?
Well, that's the sort of thing that the FBI actually investigates, right? Because there's obviously the Secret Service investigation into the actual employees who failed that day, and then there's the investigation into the actual shooter.
Yes.
I think one thing that Americans are accustomed to getting is we want to know the motive, we want to understand the purpose, why did this person do this, what was the precipitating stressor? And I'll just tell you straight up, there are certain investigations where there is no clear motive. And we'll see what comes out and additional information that the FBI is able to get. But one thing I do feel confident in is that under this new administration, the new FBI leadership, the new leadership at DOJ, they're all about trying to give as much information as possible to the American people. There's nothing more that Kash Patel would like to do than to set Americans' minds at ease because of that awful tragedy that occurred on July 13th. We are so lucky and blessed that President Trump is still with us, and I do believe it is by the grace of God, because that could have ended very differently, and I've seen shootings where it ends very differently, and tragically, we lost a hero, Corey Comparator, and like he said, his wife, she deserves better, she deserves more answers, and under the new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, she's going to get those answers. And of course, we should remember that the Deputy FBI Director, Dan Bongino, is a former Secret Service agent himself. So he's very well placed to ask the right kind of questions. Next one, Nicole, the Senate Appropriations Committee has voted to block Donald Trump from relocating the FBI headquarters to any location other than Greenbelt, Maryland. I think it's kind of interesting that a court could order him to keep it where it is. Where do you think the new FBI headquarters should be? I have many thoughts on this. First of all, it should not be in Greenbelt, Maryland, in my opinion. That process of selecting that location was not impartial, shall we say. And even Christopher Wray came out when he was the director and said, I have some concerns about lack of impartiality in this decision-making process, and that was the employees knew about that at the FBI. It was very clearly known. I think one thing that Director Kash Patel is doing, though, that I really strongly support, is he's downsizing FBI headquarters and the number of individuals that are there. That is absolutely necessary. Put those agents back on the street, back in the field, so they can actually work cases and put bad people behind bars. Just recently, he has sent those that were doing 18-month TDYs, temporary assignments to headquarters. They're all now being sent back to the field to do casework, and that's where they should be. So you don't need this large, brand new building in Maryland for FBI headquarters. I think his approach is very wise. Use taxpayer dollars in a more efficient way. Use an existing building that had been used for USAID, the Ronald Reagan building right there in D.C. Move FBI headquarters there. You don't need this new elaborate building in Maryland. And don't forget also, the FBI does have a strong FBI headquarters presence in Alabama. And that's been ongoing for several years. And so I agree that they do not need a big FBI headquarters in D.C., but you do need a headquarters in D.C., not in Maryland. And the process should have been fair, but again, downsize that headquarters and streamline it.
Nicole, you make far too much sense for decisions being made inside the Beltway, but thank you very much for your common sense. Good to have you here.